This episode of Access to the Arts has been made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations in Wayne County to serve you. First Bank Richmond, bank where you belong.
Hi, and welcome to this month's Access to the Arts. We are going to fill you up with lots of things that are going on around the community, but we're going to open up with somebody that we've talked to a few times here on Access to the Arts, but not for a while. I think last time we talked to you, we were in the studio and you were telling us about your album.
Oh gosh.
Get real. Okay. I remember that conversation now. It's fun. Jessica Raposo, who is chair of the Fine and Performing Arts here at Indiana University East, associate professor of music, and getting involved in a whole lot of stuff all the way around the place. Works with the Lively Art Series, which we run on WETV, our educational access channel, and a whole lot more. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us and hosting us in this space.
Absolutely.
If I played piano, I'd be excited, but I don't play.
Well, it's a great classroom to have. We're very excited. We just replaced all of the pianos that had been installed when the building first opened over 20 years ago. And so we have all new Roland electronic pianos in here. And the beginning piano class that we have just fills up. It's one of a few different classes that we have that students can take, helps fulfill a degree requirement in any degree. Our beginning piano class, our beginning guitar class. So we get all these students that get to come in, learn instruments that maybe they wanted to try before and never had a chance to. And even if they don't have an instrument at home to practice on, we have instruments that they can sign out from us for the semester and use and get a chance to make music in their lives.
There's a couple of things there that I'm going to have to follow up on.
Sure.
So let's go back to the students and taking the beginning piano class, which you say will help fulfill any degree, but there's a music degree that is available here at IUE.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, because there may be student players who don't know that they can get a music degree here.
So we have a track within the humanities degree here. So it's the Bachelor of Arts in Humanities degree, and within that they can take a music track. It has some other tracks as well, and within that, there's a lot of flexibility with what students want to do. They have to have sort of a primary area they want to study, whether it's a certain instrument or composition or songwriting or, anything like that. And they choose it. They work with me as the program advisor. And then they take classes on how music is made, where music comes from, its history, and then the performance of it, the creation of it. And that's what the program is based around. For students that want to become music teachers, we have an informal arrangement with the School of Education that we're hoping to make formal sometime soon so we can get it advertised. But we've been doing it for a few years now, where students can come and get that humanities music degree with us and then do a 5th year with the School of Education to fulfill the certification needs for the state. So we've got music teachers out there already that have been through this program and doing really well.
When you talk about student performance, how is that in here? Is that public? What happens there?
Oh, in lots of different ways. Some, as you can see, yes, the students are playing in here for each other all the time. They're playing the beginning guitar class for each other all the time. But at the end of every semester, a part of our Lively Arts series is a student recital. So students that are in the beginning classes, but students who are taking lots of private lessons on all sorts of different instruments, are performing at the end of every semester. Those concerts are open to the public, so they're on our events calendar for the campus, and people are welcome to come hear what our students are doing.
Nice.
Every year.
Students get to perform in various places and at various times, and you all have obviously grown that, I assume, as the program has grown. But you all are also helping people who have, you all are doing private lessons, which is a little bit different. Talk about who you bring into I played trumpet. I said I don't play piano. I played trumpet many moons over the horizon ago when I was in high school. Way too long ago. Haven't picked it up, but it's something that interests me. Can I come to you all and go, hey, listen, I think I'd like to pick up the trumpet again. Is that something, or do I need to be farther along in my studies to do that?
No, I mean, my own private students range from 6th grade to adults.
Oh, okay.
So, that it's really dependent on the teacher and the space that they have in their own schedule for it. But we have a very impressive roster of instructors on all the different instruments here at IU East. They commute to us weekly from Dayton and Indianapolis and Oxford and Cincinnati. And they've performed all over the country. They've performed, some of them, all over the world. And they come here to teach lessons. And so if there are people in the community who want to take lessons, it's very easy to just reach out to us and we connect them with the teachers. And then based on whenever they're in Richmond, they can set up lesson times for that. Everybody has different scheduling availability. So it's less about what level a student is or where they are in their trajectory, and more just about if we can work out the logistics. But with that in mind, no, for me, with flute, for example, some of it has to do with the age and whether or not they can hold the instrument up, because it's heavy. So, a 5-year-old might not be able to hold a regular flute, or have the ability to sit for 30 minutes at one task.
Sure.
So those are the types of things you have to consider with kids. Now, they do make a plastic flute, for example, that actually plays really well now. They've gotten really good at developing these. So I can start flutists younger than the typical 5th grade, which is when they can hold the metal flute. But so to be able to have that as an option is great for a child who's really, really enthusiastic and really, really wants to do it. The same way a guitar teacher might start someone on a ukulele or something like that, because it's smaller, and work from there. And obviously piano is accessible at any age. String instruments are made smaller for kids. So as far as the age, it's more about how much does the kid want it and to put the time into it.
Talk about what private lessons are like for you. There's an excitement in your face as you're talking about this. I have a brother, older brother, plays drums, still does private lessons on the side and enjoys it.
I mean, I've been teaching private lessons for over 30 years, and I love doing it. You get a range of people, and they're there because they want to be. They love something about that instrument. They're investing their time and their money outside of their school programs and whatever else that they're doing. And so they come to you, and then you have the conversation of, why do you want to do this? What is it you want to learn? So I've had students that they wanted to do everything. They've gone on to college, to be music majors themselves, and they want to be in that world, or they want to just get better at the music that they're learning for band, or they want to prepare for solo and ensemble, or they want to be learning a new genre and there's certain pieces they want to get to know. Whatever it is, and you just try to latch on to what it is that makes them love music so much and help them achieve it. And so, sometimes that's developing, technical ability. So all the different things about producing good sound, all the things that have to do with all the muscles in the mouth, all the different ways to manipulate the fingers on the instrument and how posture can do it. Little subtle things that maybe the band director at school doesn't have time to get to when they've got 50 kids in the room, and all the little things to tweak, or things that aren't necessarily a priority for an ensemble, but when you're doing solo repertoire, need to be managed a little differently. So you cover lots of different things in the private lessons that they don't get in the school programs, and gives them more opportunities to do other things.
You mentioned the Lively Art Series with the students being able to play. Talk about what the Lively Art Series is going to be like for the rest of this semester before you get to the student recitals, because those are things that happen in Vivian Auditorium here on the IU East campus. They are live streamed to your Facebook page, but you really want people in the audience. Live music is fun. So what do we have coming up?
All right. So our spring schedule begins very soon on January 30th, and that is my concert. It will be a concert of flute and guitar music, with the guitarist Thomas Garcia. He's a professor of ethnomusicology down at Miami, and he'll be joining me for that. And we've got a great program of a couple classical pieces, but then also tango music from Argentina, and then a lot of Brazilian choro music. It's a type of song and band that developed in Brazil even before bossa nova and became popular before samba and everything. And flute was a major part of those bands. So we have half a dozen of those tunes that we're doing as well on the program. So we're really excited about that.
Nice.
And then later this spring, we will have the vocal recital by our vocal instructor, Jared Davis. Our faculty and friends concert will be in
Always a
February.
fire show.
That one's great because you get all these, a whole bunch of us come together to put that concert on. So faculty and friends on February 20th. And then we're very excited. We're bringing in a guest artist, a pianist named Alexander Shatarkman, who's a Russian-born pianist currently working at the Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore. And he will be performing with our piano instructor, Shiyu Wang, four-handed piano music. So that is a partnership that we set up between the Lively Art Series and Earlham College. So he will be doing a concert with Shiyu at Lingle Hall on Sunday, March 2nd at 7 p.m., and then a master class and talk with students from both Earlham and IU East on the following day. So we're very excited about that. And that will also be open to the public, the talk and master class.
Before we started this, you dropped a bombshell on me that I've been sitting here going, okay, we're going to have time to get to this. Yes, we're going to have time to get to this. You talked to us one of the last times we talked about the chorale, which is a mixture of community members as well as students. I know you all have some performances coming up. You all have already performed, but you're telling me there's a New York trip here. You all are going to Carnegie Hall? Seriously?
We are. We just got the official invitation about a week and a half ago. So
First, tell us how did that invitation come about?
So as I don't remember if we mentioned it last time I was in here, but the chorale this year has had a stellar season, on the docket. So we had a wonderful sing-along, holiday concert and sing-along at Friends Fellowship in December. We are going to be singing at the Reed Center's Valentine's Madrigal Feast in the beginning of February. And last year, we had set up a collaboration between the Richmond Symphony Orchestra, the Earlham College Choirs, and the IU East Richmond Chorale to perform the Fauré Requiem at the end of March with the RSO. Well, the daughter of a former faculty member here works for an organization in New York City called Distinguished Concerts International New York. And they organize choral concerts of major works in the major venues in New York City. And they saw that we were doing the Fauré Requiem with the Richmond Symphony, and they have the Fauré Requiem on their schedule this spring. And so they reached out and said, would you like to be a part of this concert as well? And I said, yes, please. And then proceeded to go to my group and say, who's interested in this? And almost every hand went up. And we're working on the logistics now of making that happen for them. We got, like I said, we got the invitation last week. They will be in Carnegie Hall on June 8th with other singers from around the country and around the world who are also being invited. So it will be a much larger choir. And to be able to offer that type of experience from Little IU East here in East Central Indiana is a special opportunity. Of course, special opportunities come with costs.
Of course.
The cost for each member to be able to participate is about $2,000. That includes the travel and the housing and the things they need to be able to run the program. And so we are kicking off some fundraising initiatives in the next month to help with that. We have several students in the group, but also several community members. And just because they're not students doesn't mean that they necessarily have $2,000 at their disposal to be able to go. And we want to be, we always here at IU East want everybody to have opportunities, whether or not they can afford it. We try to help with the money part so that we can have the opportunities. And that includes for, our participants in our programs, students or not. So we're doing what we can to help them.
So we will share information about fundraising activities for the chorale. If someone wants to reach out to you, maybe there's somebody who just heard this, they go, I don't want to do something. Facebook,
We are on Facebook at IUE Music. So that's our Facebook page. Look up my name. You can find me on there and shoot me a message if you want that way as well. Same thing, you can reach me through the IU East website.
Marvelous. Jessica Raposo with Indiana University East. Always a wealth of information, and it's always good to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me back.
Thanks for the time.
Okay.
It's a place where everything flows and nothing else matters.
Where being my true self feels effortless and my mind is at ease.
On the court.
At the green.
In my kitchen.
It's the sense of belonging that makes me feel alive in my community.
Banking with First Bank Richmond is no different.
I'm supported by a bank that fits my lifestyle, my aspirations.
I have peace of mind knowing I'm banking local.
With people who actually get me.
So I can pursue my passions now, shot after shot,
Swing after swing.
Dish after dish, while building financial security for our future.
First Bank Richmond, this is where I belong.
Looks like it's got legs, right? It's got legs. And work on these sculptures. These are some of the guys that told us. Who wants to guess how cold they are? There's no fire! Fire! Where's Isis? In round one.
How slick is that stage getting, Rick?
It appears to be the Southern Night.
Cheese fire!
What would we would have done? We are not. The final 30 seconds as Hardball are on the line for tonight. No, it's this. We're all going to find out. Their sculpture. Oh, it goes to the very top.
Cheer them all on, let's hear ya!
Team Ice!
Welcome back to Access to the Arts. Thanks for spending time with us, and as always, our thanks to First Bank Richmond for supporting the arts in Wayne County and supporting access to the arts in particular. We are still on the IU East campus. It's good to work close to home, and we are having a chance to actually move into one of the exhibition spaces here, the Tom Thomas Gallery in Whitewater Hall, speaking with Assistant Professor of Fine Arts, Carrie Longley. Good to have you back on the show. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Mentioned that this is one of the exhibition spaces that's here on campus. We've also got the Meyer Artway. Talk about the exhibition spaces. You say there's three, the one that people don't really think about.
Sure. We have the Tom Thomas Gallery here. Tom Thomas was an arts professor that taught for IU East for decades and was responsible for bringing the Whitewater Valley Art Competition to IU East, which is in its 47th year this year. Then we also have the Meyer Artway. That's probably the most visible art space on our campus, most well-traveled in Whitewater Hall. And we also have the outdoor exhibition space. That's 7 different public sculptures that rotate every 2 years that are spread throughout our beautiful campus.
Those are interesting because they do change every couple of years. Mm-hmm. They are large pieces. What was the impetus for doing that? Because that wasn't always the case out here.
Right. We've had about 8 rotations of sculptures now, or 8 years, 4 rotations. And those pieces are important for encouraging visitors to explore our campus. We have beautiful landscape on our campus that not is always explored by our visitors.
Sure. They run from building to building or
Right.
meeting to meeting that they come
Right,
to.
little landmarks along our campus. It's also important teaching space for our fine arts students to learn about the importance of scale or size with public art pieces.
Okay.
They're used to making smaller art pieces on their workbench. When you move to a outdoor setting or a public setting, that scale needs to be very large. And the material is very important for an outdoor setting, so it survives the harsh winters of Indiana.
Okay.
And sun in the Indiana summers.
Nice. Talk a little bit about, if you would, the exhibits that are up. We know that we've got the 7 sculptures outside, and when the snow is gone and a little bit warmer, people will walk through, but they can come inside Whitewater Hall. What are they seeing if they come through the Meyer Artway right now?
Meyer Artway, we have 40 photographs from artist Rob Tolley, who is an emeritus professor who used to teach anthropology on our campus for 35 years.
And he's taking pictures now.
Yes, and he has retired with his wife up to the Green River Valley in Wyoming in a very isolated setting. So many of his days he gets his exercise through cross-country skiing.
Okay.
And brings his phone and camera with him and captures beautiful landscapes and how they change throughout the Wyoming seasons and wildlife that we would never see in Eastern Indiana. All of those photos are for sale and very affordable, and all proceeds from the sales benefit the IU East Art Gallery. So we're very grateful to Rob for his contributions.
He has continued to give back to this campus
That's
in
right.
a number of different ways.
Yes, that's right.
Hanging here in the Tom Thomas Gallery right now, Fragile Things. This is up for how long? And tell us a little bit about the artist.
This is up through April 12th. Samantha Herring is an educator and artist from Illinois, but she currently works out of Cincinnati. And this exhibition features portraits of fragile things, such as packing material and containers. She uses colored pastel chalk. She says her studio's immersed in colored dust, so you can imagine what her workspace looks like.
Sure.
But her goal as an artist is to make the invisible visible. So I hope artists and visitors that visit the exhibition have a new appreciation of these very simple, seemingly trash materials, elevated in status in an art piece.
Okay. You're an artist. Talk a little bit about your work, what it's like to work, show your work, and then try to teach what you've learned to that next generation.
Sure. I specialize in ceramic sculpture, but recently started teaching metalsmithing, which really challenges me as a teacher and introduces me to different materials as a working artist too. Brainstorming day in the classroom when students are brainstorming on new projects is the most exciting for me as a teacher and an artist. It reminds me of the power of collaboration and critical thinking and problem solving. So I can't imagine working as an artist without also teaching. Teaching really inspires my artistic practice.
Interesting. We've had a chance earlier in this program, we spoke with Jessica Raposo about the music department. Talk a little bit about the fine arts department, what actually happens, what degrees are possible or minors are possible for students who want to pursue fine arts.
Sure. We offer courses in graphic design, painting, drawing, photography, ceramics, metalsmithing, art history. Last spring, I took a group of students to Japan to study the religious and artistic practices of Shintoism and Buddhism. So we visited many temples and looked at the Japanese art throughout the ages and how it was influenced from China and Korea artists as well. Our students, we serve a lot of non-majors as well that may be business majors, nursing majors, communication psychology majors that want to learn how to practice art. Some of our psychology majors are interested in art therapy, which is exciting.
I was going to ask because some people will wonder in this day and age, why would a student study fine arts? What
Right.
do they get from it? How does it How does it help them pay their bills out in the real world,
Yeah.
I guess would be the question.
Yeah, our graphic design concentration is very popular because it's a more applied type of art making where students can learn web design, typography, layout, production design. So that's a very popular concentration within the fine arts field. Some of our students have gone on to teach fine art. We have one student or alumni that is teaching high school art at Alter High School. Another graduate is teaching at Oakwood in Ohio. So our students are finding that their fine arts degree can be very versatile and used in many different ways.
As an artist, talk about what art in the educational space, particularly because you did it, K-12. Talk about what you think that does for youth in terms of being able to expand their education or their mind or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Art making isn't necessarily about the final product. I find that students get a lot of benefits, even if they're not pursuing art as a profession, from the process of art making, problem solving with tough materials, especially like I see it in metal smithing when they're trying to attach two pieces of metal with a molten piece of metal. You know, it's a muscle memory activity. It takes a lot of concentration, critical thinking. They're trying to take a flat piece of material and make it into a beautiful wearable piece of art. So I think although many of the students that take our beginning level art courses aren't pursuing it as a career, it can be applied in so many different ways with critical thinking and problem solving.
Cool. Carrie Longley, Assistant Professor of Fine Art at Indiana University East, also Director of the Gallery Spaces, the exhibit spaces out here. Always appreciate the time. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for watching this month's Access to the Arts. Again, I appreciate the time we've been given by Jessica Raposo and Carrie Longley from Indiana University East. Definitely come out, enjoy the lively art series, enjoy the exhibit areas and the galleries, and take in just a little bit of what there is to enjoy out here at Indiana University East. Thanks for watching. As always, I wish you well. This episode of Access to the Arts has been made possible through the support of First Bank Richmond, with 8 locations in Wayne County to serve you. First Bank Richmond, bank where you belong.
After a chaotic day, the kitchen is my place of solitude. Hands carefully prepare, my mind at ease. First Bank Richmond provides the same peace of mind. Filled plates around the table. Shared laughter. Taking care of my family and confident in my financial future. First Bank Richmond. This is where I belong.